Well, hey there team, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to Vagrus, the Riven Realms. Now, doesn't this look interesting? This is exciting. Apparently it's a bit of like an RPG, turn-based combat, so I don't think roguelike deck buildery, though it's got that sort of art presentation aesthetic still. Maybe a bit of Darkest Dungeon, I suppose. It should be interesting. But even this splash art that we're looking at here really tickles me, actually. It's a big part of why I wanted to play this. I'm more sci-fi than fantasy, that's for sure, and I'm more, what do you call it, low fantasy or dark fantasy than high. Like, I don't usually stray towards all this super fantastical monsters stuff, but I don't know, this tickles me. This thing is a car, these dudes up here. Yeah, so we're going to give this a go. I don't really know much about it, and that's how I prefer to go in. Oh, nothing besides remains, round the decay of the colossal wreck, boundless and bare, the lone and level sands stretch far away. From Ozymandias by Shelley. Ooh, put that on my book list.
Ah, yes, a Vagrus. What a profession.
Right.
Daring and savvy, always watching the horizon, always looking for an opportunity, and of course, for what is best for his comitatus, eh?
Yeah.
And you are a Vagrus too, are you not? Many of your kind have I seen in my long life as a vagabond. Care to listen to a story about your exquisite occupation, good master? It is a tale of woe and terror, but it is also a tale that is true, as I have seen it with mine own eyes.
Oh, please do. That sounds interesting. Tell us your tale, old man. It'll help at least kill the time. Okay, yeah, let's go.
Wise you are, good master. My tale is of a Vagrus, such as yourself, but one whose fate was cursed and wrought with ill fortune. It all happened a long time ago. 10 years, maybe more. I was but a passenger, travelling rough roads and forgotten ways with this comitatus, south along the feet of the great mountains of the west.
So at the opening splash screen, it mentioned that a Vagrus is the captain of a comitatus, and a comitatus is essentially a mercenary band, from what I can understand, like a traveling companionship group of the boys, I don't know, doing missions, whatever, that sort of thing. So that's why he keeps using those two words. That's it. That's all I know. Apparently, I think it's early access as well, so.
This comitatus I speak of had fallen under hard times.
Right.
Perhaps it was due to imperial harassment.
Is that fate? It's in one headphone more.
Or simply bad luck. Era Franz, saint of roads, does not always smile on us mere mortals. But however it came to pass, their coin was drying up, and their opportunities seemed few and far between. One of the last chances their Vagrus saw was to travel to the remote town of Scrapheap and spend their remaining funds to stock up on cheap scrap metal. This metal could be sold for great profit over in the east and south. It wasn't a bad plan, truly, but it was not without risks either.
All right, okay. I'm interested. This is an interesting story. Oh, geez. Welcome to Pilgrims of the Wasteland, a standalone story of Vagrus, the Riven Realms. It serves as an introduction to the setting and also as a tutorial to the game. Wonderful! It behooves you to read the tutorial text and follow the instructions to gain a better understanding of how the game works. I like it already because they're using a word that I only use, so that's good. The me icon can be clicked in tutorial windows to show what section it's referring to. Oh, it's a pointer. Okay, yeah. Although Vagrus is an open world game, due to Pilgrims of the Wasteland being a tutorial, it progresses along a narrow guided path in the beginning and opens up only later after the core mechanics have been introduced. You can access the hotkey list by pressing F11. Okay, cool. No, yep, that's fine. Thank you, game. Oh wow, look at this. I've got all sorts of stuff. Oh, wiggles. I've got a picture, guarding your camp. Put strain on my guards. Oh man, this is interesting. It makes me think of Elder's Blood, which I wouldn't mind playing more on the channel. I did a little review on that a while back. On the campaign map, your comitatus traveling company, always occupies a node and moves between nodes through paths. Moving along paths will cost movement points indicated next to each path. Okay, so 3, 3, 2, I see. Every in-game day, you have a number of movement points to spend before you need to camp. Okay, I can see I've got 10 out of 10 up the top. Alright, to move, click on a nearby node and select move from the radial menu. You can select a node that is farther away. MP costs will be calculated. Okay, cool. Is there any reason why I couldn't just move from point to point? Like I could do that? What if I do this? 6. Yeah, I'll go. Oh, okay, cool. So you can't skip. No, I was curious. So it's basically you can just set in the long path and encounter events as you go. Look at this art. This is interesting. Most of the story is presented through interactive texts called events. Events let you make different choices at each step. Some choices can have a number of consequences, while others have various dependencies. Dependencies mean that you can only pick a certain choice if you have the right prerequisite, skill, perk, character, and so on. To select a choice, click on it, or use 1 to 9. Yeah, okay. Select the one. I like this. This reminded me of the old Choose Your Own Adventures. Having gone ahead of the column with a handful of scouts, you watch from afar as your comitatus slowly trudges along broken terrain, making its way south ponderously among dormant geysers. All around you, the hills smolder lazily in the perpetual twilight. Are you all right? Javik's voice resonates with sympathy as he appears next to you on the ridge. You nod slowly but do not look at him, your gaze lost in the distance where ash cloaks the horizon and the towering mountains to the south and west. You turn to your oh my god, and note his supportive smile. If I mouse over that, will you tell me what that is? My homies. My homies. The supportive smile. You and Javik have been traveling the realms together for years now. There is no person in the world who you trust more than you trust him, except perhaps yourself. I know you feel that your hands are tied, but like I said before, you made the right choice by leading us here. Oh, thanks, mate. He's a good cheerleader. Time will tell, but I still have my doubts. There wasn't much of a choice either. Either this or returning my trading license and hanging myself. That's a bit bloody morbid. It has to work. We cannot fail, not like this. Thank you, but the last thing I need right now is clumsy pep talk. Oh, okay, you can roll down. Okay, cool. I'm not going to be a dick to this guy. It has to work. We cannot fail, not like this. You glance at Javik and notice the worried look he is giving you. You turn away back to the horizon. No reason to be crestfallen yet. We just stick to the plan. Why should it not work? Your friend says cheerfully. You know that there could be hundreds of reasons, but do not feel like reminding him. Yes, the plan, it might work, yes. The crew, the fear in the voice betrays you. No, let's do this. Let's do that. I don't like this self-doubt. Let's get rid of that. The plan. You talked your travelling company into this a few weeks ago, but with each step toward the western mountains, more and more of them started to have their doubts. Such is the way of the road, perhaps. The plan involves a desperate attempt at squeezing a low selling price for metal bits out of an old contact of yours in the town of Scrapheap. And what's mousing over do? Why is that highlighted? Oh shit, hang on, what just happened then? Oh, it does pop up, it was just taking a while. Okay, cool, so we can have a look at that if we really want to. Nice, but we understand what Scrapheap is. It just struggled on that first load, I think. Stocking up on said metal by spending your remaining coin and bringing the cargo down south around the Molten Tongue to Devon via Avernum and Ash. Okay, seems like a bit of a trip. There is a shortage of metal in Devon, and you know several buyers who would give a pretty price for your goods if you can only make it there before many others with a similar cargo do. Such contacts are the boon of the long decades spent on the road. But even if Narbo, that villain, gave you an agreeable price in Scrapheap, the road is not without its perils. Sneaking through the gap between the dead forest and the molten tongue is inviting disaster, so it is not a path many Vagrui would risk. And of course, if this fails, you have utterly run out of alternatives. This is so good. This is channeling like early Fellowship of the Ring, which I really like. I like the first part of Lord of the Rings the most. Do you think Narbo will help us out? The old scavenger was never famous for his goodwill, Javik wonders. One can only hope. I haven't seen him in years, but we could always do good business. That said, you're not sure he would remember you if he was alive at all. If he is not willing, must find a way to compel him. Ugh. There was no telling what you would be capable if it came to that. He has to help us out. He won't be able to pass up the opportunity to make us indebted to him. Even the thought of selling yourself out in such a way makes you feel dirty. Yeah, let's do that one. That's got a bit of character to it. These are dark times. They call for desperate deeds, but such thoughts make me uncomfortable, to be honest. Javik rubs his chin absent-mindedly. You've seen this expression of his too often not to realize he is using his sorceress talent to read your mind. Taking a peek. Get out of my head. You know the rules. Yeah, fuck off. Apologies, Javik rubs his eyes quickly and looks away. You know how it is. It comes to me so naturally that sometimes I don't notice that I'm doing it. Your thoughts were loud, Vagrus. I have to actually block them, you see. After joining your Comitatus 6 years ago, Javik proved to be an invaluable asset. Not only does he sense moods and thoughts around him, but he is also able to subtly manipulate others when he focuses his inner energies. It comes in handy when doing business. Then there are his other perks. A few times you saw him shatter the mind of men and beasts who tried to kill him. Not a pretty sight, but a very effective deterrence. Yet, because he is not a trained sorcerer, at least not in the traditional sense, his abilities are sometimes difficult to control. You have become accustomed to his impromptu thought scans, while others find it less bearable to be around him. For this reason, he has kept his abilities a secret for many years overall, but you can't keep a secret such as this for long in the close-knit community of a Comitatus, especially not if you keep bursting minds and knowing things that you shouldn't. So there are only a handful of your homies who put up with being near him for any length of time. But even so, he has not probed your mind in years, certainly not on purpose, but neither by accident. Perhaps he is less in control now, which suggests he is more on edge about this whole trip than he lets on. Okay. Apology accepted. Let us return to the others and push on. Just make sure it doesn't happen again. You grumble, start to make your way down the ridge and back column. Yeah, I'm gonna, no, you know what? He apologized. I'm gonna be a cool dude about that. Apology accepted. Both of you head west to join the column. You go back to your Comitatus.
As we were
Nice.
coming up to the gates of Scrapheap, this trash pile town of cutthroats and scavengers, we could see the vast mountain ranges of shattered Bivanda Thar looming ominously over the horizon, half shrouded in the gaseous vapors belched forth by the volcanoes in the far west. My companions prepared to do their business in town as fast as they could, not wishing to tarry in this notorious place.
No, of course. Hold space. So do I have to redo my move again? I do. Okay, move. Oh, I guess it's loading. Oh, that's like a calendar up the top right as well. That's cool. Look at this Chad. Look at this Chad riding this dude. That's so good. When a Comitatus enters a settlement, you can select from a variety of options, each on a separate pane, revolving around resting, resupplying, and trading. All right, yes. You also have the opportunity to initiate stories located in the settlement. This time, only the story panel is active. Follow the only available story. I see. Stories. Oh, here we go. Scrapheap Village. At the foot of the ever-fuming mountains of the ancient Dwarven Kingdom lies Scrapheap, the town of scavengers. Debris and junk is piled into veritable hills upon which the rickety homes of the decrepit inhabitants stand precariously. Ash lingers everywhere, and the sun is almost always absent from the twilit skies. Deals are struck day and night over the precious metal scraps gathered in the ruins of nearby Dvendarthar, while the Heap King oversees all from his dreaded tower. Shady eyes in soot-covered faces watch from under ash-laden awnings. Life is cheaper than iron here, some say. I love it. I love a good narrative-heavy thing. This is so well written so far already. Oh, it's absolutely blowing my mind. Okay. Track down the Narbo. He can help. Oh, track down Narbo. That's his name. Stories. Oh, I click on that? Okay, cool. Cool. Oh, I really like this art. This is cool. This is a different kind of nostalgia because I really liked a lot of those choose your own adventure books. The were they Fighting Fantasy or something like that? Not Final Fantasy. I think it might have been Fighting Fantasy. And like Lone Wolf. I really like the Lone Wolf books, man. I should look into those actually. You make your way to the Wraith's Stash, a notorious watering hole tucked away in a small street just beneath the imposing tower of the Heap King, but not quite under its immense shadow. Few frequent the establishment, which makes it perfect for Narbo and his little operation of honest merchants. Apparently, the knave is not only alive, but has done well for himself in the past decade or so. Taking only Javik, you leave the Comitatus to the care of Titus, your quartermaster, while you were gone negotiating. Ashes flitting from the black sky as you cross the street and nod to the bouncer of the Wraith's Stash. You give him your sidearms quietly. Oh, we got guns in this? Okay, it's not really clear if this is a post-apocalyptic or whatever. We've got dwarves and we've got guns. Rules are rules, at least as long as they can enforce it. Yet they have the courtesy of allowing you to keep your dagger. And of course, they have no idea what Javik is capable of should it come to a scuffle. Not that you expect such a thing, but with Narbo one never knows. Though you have told your crew that he and you go way back, the entrepreneur... I can't ever say that word properly. I guess that works. Entrepreneur. I hate it. I hate that word. I hate saying it. Even though I guess I kind of am in a way. Is a capricious and manipulative man with whom you did not part on the best of terms. Does he remember that? Surely. Could he be persuaded to take your proposal? Well, who knows? Your eyes slowly adjust to the dimness of the tavern's interior. Only a few candles and a lamp at the bar illuminate the common room. Shadowy faces turn toward you and observe you through the smoke. The bartender, a thick-set man in a dirty tunic, is chewing tobacco serenely. Above the bar hangs the skeleton of a large heap lizard on display. Narbo is sitting at a table in the back, his bodyguard half hidden in the darkness at the wall behind him. Make your way confidently to Narbo, walk over to the bar, or sit down at one of the vacant tables. I might hit the bar. Let's get a feel for this. Let's get the vibe. The bartender stifles a belch and nods his greetings. What can I do for you? The way he grabs an earthenware mark suggests that it would probably be best to order something. You glance at Javik briefly before paying for 2 rounds of a local mushroom brew called Ash Tongue. That is somewhat less loathsome than you imagined. Leaning over your drink, you quietly tell the barman that you are here to see Narbo. Oh, are you now? He's doing calculations, and he don't like to be bothered when he's doing calculations. He indicates Narbo at the corner table with a nod. The entrepreneur is indeed busy poring over a stack of papers and fiddling with a calculus. Walk over to Narbo right away. Wait until he is done with his papers. At least you can finish your beer. I think that's probably the smart move here. You chat with the bartender while sipping your beer. Most of it's boring small talk, but when the conversation turns into a discussion of local prices, you notice Javik's stern expression and the small hand gesture that he makes. This is a signal that the two of you have been using for a long time now, indicating that he has gleaned something from the man's surface thoughts. When minutes later the bartender goes to the back to check on the kitchen, Javik leans closer. Apparently there's a supplier of meat and mushroom that has a surplus on his hands he wants to get rid of quickly. You can't help but smile and nod. This could save you quite a lot of coin. Also, your friend Nabo seems to be having trouble with a package. In his mind, it is a constant frustration in connection to the Heap King. You nod to Javik and notice how the sleazy merchant has stopped fiddling with the calculus and is now looking at some papers listlessly. It is time. Walk over to Nabo's table. Let's do it. The entrepreneur looks up from a stack of papers in front of him and rubs his eyes. Nabo is a corpulent man with a bushy dark beard and a few missing teeth. Wonderful. Part of his face is covered in scars similar to those left by old burns. That, coupled with the withered and mutated left arm that hangs limply at his left side, is a clear indication of the taint. The merchant wears a leather jerkin studded with small bronze and bone coins, a sign of wealth and boldness. His bodyguard, a lithe man with tribal tattoos and an outfit made of leather, moves his hand calmly to a spear that leans against the wall. Nabo's mouth falls open as the spark of recognition flares up in his eyes. No wonder. It has been 10 years. The fuck, mate, he blinks. I thought you croak. People, Nabo waves his good hand around and looks at his bodyguard. Told tales of your demise. The man finishes his sentence for him, and as the merchant nods vehemently. All right, that business with Kernak Outpost and the Storm, Nabo adds. You tell him that you were indeed at Kernak when the terrible arcane storm struck. You describe the horrors of that night briefly. You add how many of your original comitatus died there, close friends, old travelling companions. But you walked away unscathed, and this was 10 years ago. Oh, sheesh, that fucker Irafons looked after you something fierce. Hey, Nabo chuckled heartily. But I'm sure you haven't come to reminisce about good old times, have you? His predatory smile makes you cautious, even though he invites you to sit down with a casual wave of his meaty hand. Apologise for the unfortunate way he parted. No, wait, get down to business right away. Remind him that you do not like threats, especially not insinuated ones. That's off the table. To business straight away or apologise. Was it definitely my fault? Look, this bloke's gonna love a good grovel, right? Absolutely. Yeah, let's grovel. Let's do it. Far as I can tell, you never did anything against me, eh? Nabo shrugs with a wry smile. Of course, you could have sent someone to warn us, the bodyguard finished his sentence. Back when Nabo and you parted ways, Avernum's Collegium was hot on your trails. They got offended by how you two outplayed them by smuggling in a shipment of exotic spices without their knowledge and selling it to a local nobleman's merchant house. You look at Nabo and tell him that there was no way of warning him or even knowing where he was after the chaos was unleashed following the heist at Avernum. You had to get your crew out of there, so you did. The merchant is fiddling thoughtfully with a stack of papers while listening to you. I appreciate you coming clean, even if this sorry business was so many years ago, he says after a long pause. The bodyguard becomes visibly less tense. This is good. But something tells me that ain't all you come for still. So what is it? This accent is killing me, but I'm enjoying it actually, to be honest. You breathe in. Time to outline your proposition. Here we go. Oh, what's this? Some choices have dependencies, meaning you can only pick a certain choice if you have the right prerequisite. Yeah, we talked about this. Some choices involve tests. Oh, there we go. That can be failed. This is a choose your own adventure book, and I'm losing my mind. I'm having a great time. You explain to Narbo how you want to give him, or you want him to give you a discount on a shipment of metal scraps, which you then would smuggle into Devon through contacts that you have in the city's underworld. The profit on the shipment would be quite exquisite. You do not name your contact, but divulge enough of her that the plan looks solid. Buyers, you say, are lining up, expecting the shipment soon. Now, Narbo sits in silence, eyes fixed on the table, as if listening to some noise from afar. He does not cut you off at any time during your proposition. At length, after you are done, he looks up and gives you a weak smile. Well, that sounds like you've been thinking a long time about it, he says as he shifts in his chair. And it's a great plan, except for the part where I give you a discount for your asking and not much else. And I don't do that, mate. That would make me, an almoner, the bodyguard adds discreetly. Is that a word? Narbo looks up at him. When the man nods, he turns back to you. Hey, an almoner. See, I'm the almoner. You got to do better than that. What you got for me? All right, so what have we got? Tell him you will be in his debt. He will make a tidy profit as is, but you will then owe him a favour. Remind him that the two of you used to make a great team and this could rekindle the partnership. Okay, reveal that you're in a bad spot and it's your last chance. Let him know that in exchange for his help, you can help him out with a problem he might have right now. Oh. Narbo's secret. What do we do? I mean, we are asking for a discount. Let's do this. Let's do this. Narbo's jaw drops when you insinuate that you know about his little problem. Oh, fuck me, mate. You are better connected than I thought. Or you have something up your sleeve, the merchant says as he eyes Javik suspiciously. For a while he is quiet, then he looks up and narrows his eyes. Tell you what, I think we can help each other. You headed to Devon by way of Avernum, eh? When you nod, Narbo leans closer and signals his bodyguard. The man with the dreadlocks steps closer and carefully produces a small packet from beneath his leather jerkin, then puts it into the merchant's palm. This here, fellas, are mighty important to me. See, if you take this out of the city and deliver it to my associate in Avernum, we're even. You even get your discount scrap from me. The merchant offers you the package. Javik draws in a breath, but before he could speak, Narbo interrupts him. And before pretty boy asks, no, I won't tell you what's in it, and don't even think about opening the package. What I can say is, it ain't dangerous to yourself, but you might want to keep it hidden from the damn militia of good old Scrapheap. So, you take the package. The way Narbo glares at you makes it clear that you have no other choice. This might be just the opportunity that you had hoped for. Okay, hey, cool. All right, we've got an agreement. It's give and take, you know? The package is small enough to fit your palm, feels very light, and is wrapped in fine leather. You pocket it after briefly observing it. You'll be looking for a man named Scorner in Avernum. He ain't to be trifled with either. Just tell him I sent you and you'll be fine. You can find him or his men in Levinus's watering hole most of the time. Give this little fella to him and him only, you understand? After you assure him that you do, Narbo instructs you to give him an hour, then look for his people at the market and simply introduce yourself. They will know what price they should give you on the metal scraps by then. He motions to his man. You and Javik stand up and make ready to leave. What's it? Rava here will take. Ravua here. That must be his name. Ravua here will take you to the back exit. We don't want give people the idea we can come here to beg for almonds now, can we? Or anyone to connect to us and run to the militia for that matter. You got what you came for, so you leave the Wraith's stash through the back entrance and head back to the Comitatus. End. Okay, cool. Your journal, located in the bottom left, is now active, It is your means to follow stories and tasks. Open your journal by clicking on the doodaki in the bottom left. Oh, okay. The journal allows you to view quests, tasks, and other related information. You can search for entries and filter them in the top left. Entries are separated into objectives and qualities into their respective panes. Objectives are your quests and ongoing stories. The text of a selected list item appears on the right. Yeah, okay. Unread entries. Gold dots active. Green, cool. Tasks are non-narrative missions and goals that can be completed for rewards. There are several types like trading opportunities or mercenary work, but in Pilgrim of the Waste you can only find passengers here. Passengers have to be taken to their destination where they will compensate you for the trouble, but be careful because sometimes passengers will leave if you take too long. Okay, yeah. Qualities can be statuses, gathered information, secrets, and so on. Right, whatever. We'll figure it out as we go. So we've got the shipment. Buy the scrap from the market. We've got the package as well. Go to deliver it to a man in Avernum. Okay, cool. All right, team. Whoa, big intro. A lot of talking, a lot of narrative. I'll tell you what, though, at the very least, because you know I don't like visual novels. I usually don't like really bad B-grade writing, okay? There's a lot of people trying to push progressive bullshit agendas these days. A lot of people trying to push in bad writing because, I don't know, maybe because the people in the Netflix crowd and that where you write for shows told them their writing was shit, and so they attached themselves to a game company and did crap writing. That's my experience. Not here. This is fantastic. I am loving this. I haven't even played the game yet. I don't even know what the game plays like. We've moved a couple of squares and I've read in a stupid Cockney accent. And I'm in love. I'm enjoying it. We need to play some more. I'll probably have to play some more to really cut into it and get to the bottom of it. Team, we might just leave it there for the time being, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.